hit the button.
Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on the Supernatural Show with Miss Kim in the house helping out and handling all the bad boys and bad girls in the comments. And we also have Roxy, our truth ambassador, in the house as well here with us today. Today, yes, good afternoon. Today we're running a little behind, of course, about an hour behind. But we've been in the studio trying to get things ready to go for about 3 hours. So, well, actually, when did we get in here today, Roxy? 11:30?
Yeah.
11:30?
I was.
Yeah, I was in by 11:30. And you come in just a few minutes after me. So it ain't for a lack of effort. Let's say that for sure. But we've got several areas that we're going to touch on today. I've got a video that some of you have probably seen where the pilot films something, and I kind of know what that something is, that flies up beside the airplane while it's cruising along at altitude at about 300 miles an hour or so. And something flies up by the window when the pilot is filming out the side of the airplane. You can see the wing and then that thing fly up. We're going to take a look at that. Also, for those of you that are members of the YouTube channel, there's a special video related to that as well for y'all guys there. So check that out if you're a member of the YouTube channel. We are live today on Facebook, on 2 channels on Facebook, 2 on YouTube. Twitch, DLive, Kick, and BitChute. Are we live on Rumble? Why do I not see? We didn't get Rumble picked. Uh-oh. I don't know if we can fix it. Let me see if I can fix it. So I'm going to remove DLive, and I'm going to add Rumble.
How is everybody out there doing today? You know, I want to know where you're watching from. Where are all of our friends at? Hey, Lori.
And now we've got Rumble added back, so hopefully it's streaming to Rumble as well.
You let me do it for the first time, and I missed something.
Yeah, Roxy is learning how to get the show going from the beginning to bringing it to this and ending the show in the end today. So she's learning how to do the show because
let me promise you folks, I am very technologically savvy and there's a whole lot of buttons you got to hit before we get to the point where we're talking to you.
Right, exactly. Hello from Wales, Maine. Glad to have you here, Lori Ann Severance. Um, again, today we're going to look at that video from that pilot's perspective. We're going to explore the concept of out of the storm, meaning I've always been just absolutely fascinated by weather and phenomena like that. And for years, I have literally felt that as these storms that I can see continually getting intensified, bigger thunderstorms, bigger hurricanes, just bigger storms. And you take that into mind, along with all the things that we've seen with the color of the lightning is changing. The storms are turning purple. A lot of times you'll see when the lightning is flashing, the whole storm is like purple. And I know there's reasons for that in a way, but I think it is signifying that ultimately we may see, and there's people who claim they have already seen, but we may see some things that will manifest and come out of the storm. If you understand that the storm itself is in the image of a portal, okay? And we're going to look at biblical references to things coming out of the storm, and we're going to look at other, we'll call them mythologies and writings of the past about things manifesting and coming out of the storm. And the easiest one to remember is when Moses was on the mountaintop and a whirlwind came up. And a whirlwind is a toroidal storm, a spinning storm. And there was lightning and thunder and all this. And the Bible says that God showed his presence to Moses and during that storm. So we're going to look at that out of the storm. And we're also going to, let's see here, we're going to look at a few TikTok videos actually that have just some very interesting content. Okay. And we're going to look at those. Like, for instance, in 1998, President Ronald Reagan said we're going to go back to the moon. 1988, excuse me. And then every president since then has said we're going to go back to the moon, and they'll always say in the next 5 years, 10 years, whatever, but it never seems to actually happen. And of course, now, they're still saying this. So we're going to take a look at that video. We're going to take a look at the over time doppelganger kind of thing, where we have these people that of old that there's photos of that seem to be the same person living again today, at least from looks for sure. And that's pretty wild. So we're going to take a look at that. And then we're going to, we've also got a document here that I've put together about the out of the storm concept and the different references biblically as well as other writings of ancient texts and stuff. We've got 6 pages of that we're going to go over. And we've got a bunch of images we're going to look at and make reference to. Like, if one of the easiest ones is this image. Okay. Now this is a depiction, an image of a deity dancing in a storm. I think it was Bush Jr. that said, don't you know there's an angel dancing in a whirlwind that commands this storm or drives this storm? Some of you will remember him saying that. It was a very strange thing for him to say. And what they're talking about is what I'm showing you here, as well as the concept of out of the storm, which is where this image came from, that kind of idea. And yeah, I'm talking dragons, but I may be talking just other types of supernatural deities, and we're going to get into that as well. And probably there's no telling where else we're liable to go. So,
Dylan, that's why it took us late. We're late getting on everybody because we started putting this together, and then we go to talking, and we get to talking so much, we always end up late.
yeah,
We
yeah,
finally have to go, just stop talking.
yeah. And we're like, okay, hold that for the show. Hold it for the show. We don't need to talk about that now.
Yeah, Shiva, she is the goddess of destruction.
Hmm. She's depicted in the I Pet Goat video as well, up in the it
Here,
looks like
Smart
a
Lady.
raised area, which is actually just the heavens. Is the depiction of where she shows up at, and yeah. I'm glad to see all y'all guys in the comments here and everybody watching on all the different platforms. I know all of you that are watching are not able to comment live. If you come over to the Supernatural Show, or to YouTube, or to Facebook, or to what's the little blue one again? The little Twitch. Yeah, Twitch. Technically, you can comment from there. I'm not sure why you can't comment from Rumble because it should work, but I never see a comment coming from Rumble until after the show.
Yeah, I don't know why.
So, one
So if
thing
you
real quick.
comment and you're not seeing it go on the screen, it's just because we're not seeing it because that platform doesn't transfer over. But
Yeah, either that or it's just maybe you're saying something that's not necessarily needs to go on the screen. Real quick, before we dive down those rabbit holes, wanted to point out and let you guys know that a couple of weeks ago, Roxy and I started working on trying to get it set up so where our products, the little things that we create to try to give y'all guys something that you can tangibly get and support the show at the same time. Like, don't argue with donkeys, that t-shirt, or food not pharma, or it's a conspiracy theory. It's not a conspiracy theory if it's true, and all those, and all the other products that we have on here that technically you can order and receive them. There's a lot of them, and they're on the website and they are orderable. However, YouTube, we got it working where the products, we could actually place them in video, and got it working, and it worked good for about a week and a half. And then YouTube come back and disapproved every one of our products, every single one, even ones that had nothing to do with conspiracy or God or anything else. They're not going to allow us to promote our product through the show, is what I'm telling you. The only way you're going to be able to get any of these products is you're going to have to go to the website. I'm going to drop a copy of the link in the comments. There you go, so that you should have access to that, or you can just simply go to TheSupernatural.Show and look under the more and go down here, and you'll find where it says the Supernatural Shop. And I'm gonna move it up here on this top row here very soon as well. So there's that. They're continuously trying to do things to suppress the channel, and we're doing everything we possibly can to fight back against them. Guys may have noticed that what I'm doing and what I've done and what I'm going to keep doing and maybe try to improve upon that is like this show right here. After the show today, I'm going to pull it down, a copy of the show, and I'm going to cut the front long intro off. I'm going to cut any other basically fat out, and then I'm going to repost the entire show at like 7 p.m., where the entire show will come out as a premiere at 7 p.m. at night. Okay. Normally it should be the same day that it should pop in. Speaking of pop in, we just had Leslie show up. Hello, Leslie. Welcome.
Hey, Leslie.
I'll let Leslie sit on stage with us as well here. So just make sure to keep your camera off unless you want to get seen. So yeah, thank you, Leslie, for being here. Let's see, where was I? I was saying that we would rebroadcasting the show in the evening times at 7 for people as a premiere. So it's not exactly live, but a lot of people watched it. I started doing that this past week. And then I said, okay, what else can I do? So I took Saturday and I did a rebroadcast on Saturday of the same show again on a Saturday, because we, of course, normally on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The Saturday show got more views than the original show. So then what I did on Sunday, I took Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday's show, combined them into one show, and reposted that as one long 5-hour show on Sunday, and it got a lot of views. Well, a lot compared to what we're normally used to seeing here due to the shadow banning. So if you notice that there's some of that going on, I'm just explaining to you what it is. Now, which topic do we want to jump into first? Anybody got a thought?
I don't know. I was liking the document. Start with the document before we get into the.
The document? Okay.
Yeah, let's start with the document.
Be a good place to start. Let me see if I can.
When I told you I didn't want to talk no more a while ago, wait till we were on the air.
Right. Let's see, that's 125. Let's see, 150. Okay, 150 works, so that way people can see it. And I think I might be able to make that go away, make it a little bigger. Okay, so we're talking in this, we're going to start out then, I guess, with out of the storm. Let's talk about the possibility of things coming out of a storm. And firstly, you have to understand that a storm is in the image of a torus, a spinning torus. It's also in the image of, we have that same image all over our body. And these images of these things also are in the image of a portal and a place where something can go through or something can come through. Okay. This is what they're over there at CERN trying to do, which is, or one of the things they're trying to do, which is why they have that image of Shiva dancing in the storm, is because they're trying to bring forth deities through a storm. And I think there is precedence, and we're going to see that here, that this has already happened throughout time in the past. And I think that we are at the time where the possibility of these kind of things happening again are pretty good. I mean, if you think about all the events that have happened in the last year, and I don't even have them all here, but like if you, let's say, for instance, take the eclipses, okay? Take the, let's see here, if I have the video easily spottable. Let's see if I can find it here. Where's it at?
Did something to the Earth's magnet.
Say what, Roxy?
We were talking about it the other day. The eclipse that's on the front of the Doge clock, or the deck clock, whatever you want to call it.
Deck clock, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The path of that eclipse has changed, where storms kind of make their decision up or down, left or right, and it's right in the path of there, and it's changed. I think it did something magnetically different to the Earth to shift the way part of the weather works. That's just a theory. I'm not a meteorologist.
And yeah, meteorologists wouldn't tell you the truth. Anyways, let's watch this short clip here of this has some of the auroras in it, and can't recall exactly what all have this clip has in it, but just to remind you of some of the things, we'll take a look at a couple of short videos that are affecting this, because we've seen what they call northern lights or the aurora. We've seen it across the entire world. And then there are all these, remember how purple the sky was in the evening times? And it's still doing it sometimes, but it was really intense, say month and a half ago, going back several months. And now we're seeing the lights flickering all over the world, lights turning on and off. Something big is coming. And I'm trying to do my best I can to just have the conversation about that. So let's see. This happened during this one here. I'm going to play real quick. This happened during the eclipse. This, what I've named a chariot of fire, was seen during the eclipse. It was filmed from 2 different locations. So it is a real video, I do believe. So keep in mind when I play this, the eclipse is in totality while this is seen. Okay, and here's another one related, and this one has to do with the auroras, I think.
There is a storm coming like nothing you have ever seen, and not a one of you is prepared for it.
Yet I'm trying to get us as prepared as we possibly can be. And then we've seen this. What was it following the so-called comet? The snowball that they claim that is not a snowball and it's nothing like what they've told us about. What is it? What was it? What's the truth about the auroras, and what were they bringing forth or energizing or manifesting? All these things, and the skies turning purple, and storms and lightning changing in the storms, and seeing amazingly strong storms. And I think that it has to do with, well, what we're going to look at here, like with these references. If we look at some biblical references, we can see like Job 38:1. Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind. Okay. Whirlwind, of course, is a torus, or a spinning energy. It's so built into our society, and there's so many images or examples of the torus all around us, even all over our bodies. You can look in the mirror and see it. You can speak a word and see it. It's highlighted in my my video that I show sometimes that's a little bit longer, where it's kind of like the Beyond the Veil intro, where I'm talking about I can't see the truth for you. You've got to be able to see it. I can lead you to it, describe it, kind of like the things I'm doing today, but I can't actually make you see it. And in this case, I think what is coming is things manifesting out of the storm. If we look at 2 Kings 2:11, Elijah is taken to heaven in a chariot of fire and a whirlwind. Okay, this is either somehow factual or just fantasy. Which is it? Okay. Ezekiel 1:4, Ezekiel sees a great cloud with fire unfolding on itself, a whirlwind from the north containing living creatures, cherubims, and wheels within wheels. Fire and smoke. Exodus 19:18, when God descends on Mount Sinai, it is wrapped in smoke because the Lord has descended on it in fire, thunder, and lightning, and trumpet sounds accompany his presence. Exodus 3:2, God speaks to Moses from a burning bush that is not consumed. And of course, when it's in this description, it also describes how it's a storm as well, if you go there and read. 1 Kings 18:38, fire from heaven consumes Elijah's offering during his challenge to the prophets of Baal. And there's a number of others, as you can see there, okay? And even mentions earthquakes there. If we go down to some of the ancient texts, we'll call it mythology or whatever, says the storm god in Leo,
In Leo.
Later called Marduk in Babylonian mythology, often travels in storms and wind. His voice is thunder, and storms follow him as signs of power. In Canaanite religion, Baal, a storm god, is known for riding on clouds and thundering over mountains. He defeats the sea god Yam, which echoes biblical imagery of Psalms, where Yahweh always trumpets triumphs over the chaotic waters. Greek mythology, Zeus, god of the sky, uses thunderbolts and appears amid storms. Divine appearances are often accompanied by clouds, lightning, and great noise.
See, this is where I told you earlier we need to stop talking. Because
Right.
when you look at these, it doesn't matter whether it's the Bible, or Greek mythology, or Norse mythology, Mesopotamia. They all have a very similar story. They just call it they call the person a different name.
Yeah, it's what I've seen is that they've renamed the same deities throughout all cultures and all time, renaming them like there's all these different things going on and different beings and all this, but really what we're talking about is the same group of spirits, deities, whatever you want to call them. Some would call them the fallen, the fallen angels, were the story of all of that. And it's interesting, of course, too, the fallen angels came down on top of the mountain, which is an interesting spot when you think about a mountain and the power that a mountain can have because of the nature of that. It is high. It goes up into the higher levels of energy flow. And then a lot of times the mountains are actually the remnants of trees, tree stumps, and the power that would be stored in that tree stump and in the ground below in the old ancient root systems, because that stuff just doesn't go away. It's either still there or it transmutes into something else, like some cases oil or coal or like fat wood. When you go out and harvest a tree stump like an old pine and you can get fat wood and it smells like gasoline. And in some cases, I think they actually transmute ultimately into volcanoes, which, if you haven't heard me talk about that before, you probably think I'm a complete nut about this moment. If you think about what a volcano really is and forget what they told you, and think about fat wood and trees and coal and oil and where it really comes from, and you start doing a little digging, you'll see that it ain't too much of a stretch. So with that, let's continue, shall we?
I agree, 69 Judge.
Let me change the comment section. There we go. Yeah, the 69 Judge says the fallen angels are rock stars, Hollywood stars, and politicians. Yeah, they I would say that those people are the sons of perdition, and they have been here throughout time, and they repeat their cycles, meaning that they never are able to escape this realm, this world. The elites of this world absolutely believe in reincarnation. Very, very, very much so. And it's one of the reasons, according to everything I can research, it's one of the reasons why they keep their bloodline from mixing, or try to keep their bloodline from mixing, because it's easier for them to chase down say Papa Bush dies. They're looking for him to pop back up in a child or a grandchild or a niece or nephew. They're looking for him to pop back in and be back on this planet again. And that kind of goes along with some of these other videos that we were going to take a look at, especially like this one here. Matter of fact, might be a good moment just to take a look at that one. Let's see.
Yeah, 69 Judge hit it right on the head.
I don't know that. I don't think I can make this full screen, can I? Oh, yeah, I can. Okay. So let me turn my audio on.
And unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably come across the fact that there are a whole lot of celebrities that bear an awful similar resemblance to historic figures from our past. So similar, in fact, that you might mistakenly think they're the same people. Well, if you want to see something even stranger, stick around, because I'm about to show you a handful of statues that also bear a very striking resemblance to some pretty well-known people. Case in point, Michelangelo's David. You see, I couldn't help but notice a very striking resemblance between Baron Trump and David. And well, if you don't think he resembles King David, stick around, because he coincidentally resembles another very prominent.
Wow. How do I escape that full screen? While we're looking at that, I want to pull up something real quick. Let me, well, you just have to see. Okay. Okay. Let's just look at this one. Here's the symbolism. This is the Trump coat of arms. Now, this is a symbol of someone catching an arrow across time. You see that the hand, first off, you got a helmet, and coming out of the top of the helmet, it's a hand that goes through a cube or a portal, and is reaching through and catching the tip of a spear across time. And you see these waters, the image of waters that are flowing out. That is symbolism for time, the movement of time. And this is symbolism for someone that believes that they existed in the past somehow and now exist again and catch this arrow that supposedly, figuratively, or symbolically was thrown hundreds or thousands of years ago. Now, am I saying that this is true? In fact, no, I'm not. I'm saying that this is what it looks like, the symbolism of. So, with that, we'll finish listening to this.
Historic figure. One that they also just happened to build a statue of. This is Alexander the Great. And again, to me, there is a striking resemblance. But this one, there's even more. Because when compared to Alexander the Great, not only does he bear a very similar resemblance, but the statue of Alexander the Great just happens to have the exact same 3 skin markings as Baron. Now you tell me what is going on here. But there's more. Have you ever typed in the original Statue of Liberty face? Because I bet maybe you didn't even know there was an old original one. And I couldn't help but notice the resemblance here to a certain king of rock and roll. I mean, I literally think this one is almost undeniable. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. Oh, but Elvis doesn't just look like the Statue of Liberty. Type in the hypogeum of the voluminous family and look at these statues from the 3rd century BC. And you'll get pictures of a family's vault that just happened to have an angel that looks a lot like Elvis, even down to the sideburns. Even down to the sideburns. 2,000-year-old statue that's an angel. And have you ever seen the Egyptian statue that looks exactly like Michael Jackson? Oh, from just 3,000 years ago. Or the statue of the Roman Emperor Claudius. Check that one out and see if it resembles anyone to you. Because to me, there's a striking resemblance to him and Daniel Craig, otherwise known as Bond, James Bond. Now, in my opinion, there's one of 2 possible things that is going on here. One, there's just been billions and billions of people that have lived throughout history, and eventually there are just going to be people that coincidentally look like, and those people are just going to coincidentally happen to be the ones in the limelight. I don't think that's what's going on at all. Option 2, which I think is much, much more likely, is that the Bible is true, and God banished fallen angels down here amongst us humans, and they don't like that. They're mad that our spirits and our souls come and go and have an experience while they're stuck here. And whether they live in or just for a certain amount of time and then get reincarnated in the exact same look-alike body, I don't know. But I know part of the reason they were banished down here is because they wanted to be worshipped like God instead of worshiping God. And wasn't it just a huge coincidence that the people that we worship in today's day and age just happen to be the ones who also look exactly like people of the past? And while sometimes they have to fake their death or change their appearance so you don't realize that they're living a lot longer than the rest of us. But of course, all this is just for entertainment. I know that all the statues and the historic figures that look like today's people is option 1. It's just a coincidence. There's billions of people in the world, and eventually they're going to look alike. Entertainment only.
So, yeah, quite interesting to think about the concept of how these deities and spirits could get trapped. Why are we getting so much echo?
I don't know.
But getting trapped here and then controlling their bloodline for multiple reasons and being reincarnated and coming back over and over and over and over and catching the tip of a spear through time. Pretty interesting. All right, so let's keep
wondering about time travel at that point.
Huh?
I've been wondering about time travel.
Haven't we all?
Well, these Mandela effects that we're getting, they're happening for some reason. And if you've ever seen movies like The Butterfly Effect, if you could actually time travel and you go back and one little thing changes, it would change something like that. It would change words in a book, names of books, street names, things we're starting to see.
Right.
Sometimes I wonder if it's actual Mandela effect or psychological warfare.
Mm-hmm. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
John Trump and Tesla were, I don't know if they were friends, but they were related, and when Tesla dies, John Trump is supposed to be one of the ones that goes in to get his trunks of scientific research and papers, and supposedly some went missing.
Mm-hmm.
Tesla said he had perfected time travel before he died.
Well, Tesla, his ideas and concepts are,
They weren't profitable. They were going to hurt other industries.
you know, and they were, uh, it appears, and this is only using the word loosely because we weren't there, but it appears that he wasn't. He was trying to create things to better things. He was trying to explore and figure things out to solve problems, and he was trying to see and understand the way the world works. He referred to 369 or sacred geometry as a whole, with the different mathematical systems that go along with that, like 1 and 1 is 2, and 2 and 1 is 3, and 3 and 2 is 5, and 5 and 3 is 8, and 8 and 5 is 13, 13, and you go on and on and on. And that's the way that mathematical description is the way the storm works. It's the way the energy lines cross and control it. It's the way the energy flows through this earth, under your feet and above your head. And understanding things like that is part of what brings me to doing shows like this and some of the other things, because for whatever reason I can see and somewhat understand these things in my mind. And I have this urge to be a teacher and to try to share this information instead of putting it in a book and trying to strictly just profit, from it.
Yeah, we don't like gatekeepers.
We don't like what?
Gatekeepers.
No, not really. All right, so let's continue down our document here, and we got to do some more looking around here. It says this is out of the book of Enoch, 1 Enoch 14, the vision of God's throne. Says, and I saw a lofty throne. Its appearance was as crystal, and the wheels thereof as the shining sun. From underneath the throne came streams of flaming fire, and the great glory sat thereon, and his raiment shone more brightly than the sun, and was whiter than any snow. So obviously there's kind of a storm-like environment in that description. And from my understanding and the way that I would put it, and I have no way to know if I'm right, but I would say that Father sits in the eye of the storm, and at the very top of the eye of the storm, you might say, symbolically at least. And then you throw in all the descriptions out of Enoch, and you start getting a little bit of a vision of it. Yeah, if you can understand kind of what I'm saying. Okay, so here's the angels, the watchers, and the mountain of God. 1 Enoch 17 through 19. Enoch was taken by angels on a tour of the heavens and the ends of the earth. He sees storms, winds, flaming fires, and fiery abysses. A mountain of the dead where the souls of the departed reside, angels who are bound and punished, fallen watchers who revealed forbidden knowledge to humans. And I think these are the same, whether you want to call them the fallen watchers, fallen angels, or start using words like they used in Egyptian time, or any other period or culture, any other time period or any other culture, they all different persons or different people all had their experiences with these deities. We all deal in and have experiences with these deities on a daily basis, whether we're aware of it or not. They are the deities that Brother Dan Kennedy used to tell me. He called them the strong men. And basically, the strong men are, if you wanted to put a name on each one of them, you could, but what you would do is look at all of the weaknesses of the flesh, all of the sins that proliferate in this world. And when you look at each of those categories, there you will find one of those angels who is teaching those things. And now in the current times, it seems that they are still here, and they call themselves Legion, and they manifest in people's lives because people don't realize that you can open doors and allow these entities or these spirits into their lives by lots of different kinds of actions. You know, drug use, like of some bad things, could be one way to open a door. Believing the wrong thing, using your own mouth to curse yourself, you know, saying, I have this, or I have that, or I can't help it, I'm this way, or whatever it is. There's so many ways that these strong men, as Dan used to call them, can work their way into your life. All right, so the presence of God causes terror. In Enoch's vision, even the angels tremble before God's throne. None of the angels could enter or look upon his face because of the magnificence and glory, and no flesh could behold him. Yeah, very extremely intense, if you wanted to use the word storm, where, you know, we can't hardly even imagine anything like it. I think we'll jump on down to, here. This is biblical and apocryphal texts. Enoch 1, the stormy wind comes out of the north. We kind of talked about that. From the cloud emerge 4 living creatures, cherubim with multiple faces, wings, and burning coals of fire. They're accompanied by wheels within wheels, possibly the closest the Bible gets to surreal and supernatural beings arriving via a storm. And of course, Enoch talks about it as well. Angels descend in storms and fire, often bringing judgment and guiding Enoch. Supernatural beings like the Watchers and imprisoned angels are connected to natural phenomenon like tempests and earthquakes. And I think that the whole purpose of this, again, is because we're talking about deities manifesting out of storms. Now, you could take this as just me trying to talk about something that's nonsensical and somehow exciting, somehow through fear or fantasy or whatever. But this is something, the storm concept, and out of the storm concept is something that I can't help but keep coming back to in my mind over and over and over for years. And when that tends to happen, for me at least, I know it's something important. I mean, if you just think about all the supernatural things that we've had happen in the last, well, I mean, how far back we want to go, but especially in the last 12 months, starting at the eclipse. I mean, there's just one thing after another. It's like we're almost used to it now. It's just crazy.
Getting used to the chaos.
Yeah. Revelations 10 says, a mighty angel descends clothed in a cloud with a rainbow above his head and a voice like thunder. There are creatures around God's throne that move amidst lightning and thunder. And I think for the most part, the kind of things that I'm thinking would manifest out of these storms would be demonic in nature. There's even, matter of fact, let me pull up something else I'm thinking about here. Illuminati playing card, demons. Yeah, plague of demons. This one should work, I think. Yeah. So if you're not familiar with these cards, it's a long story, but they were printed in 1995. And an enormous amount of them, and I could show one behind the other, have already come true, including the Twin Towers and the Pentagon getting blown up. All that kind of stuff is all depicted through these cards. The plan demonic that we went through depicted in these cards, even the CDC and the needles and all that stuff is all depicted in here. But as you can see, this is you have in the background, you have if you look at the sky itself, it looks like an aurora, like when we see the auroras. And with the auroras, let's say we had some really heavy duty storms coming across the country. And at the same time, here comes another flicker or another spark off the sun and super energizes these storms. Matter of fact, that reminds me of another video I have, if I happen to have it right here easily enough to find. I think it's over here. I might have to change the way the room looks for a second, I think, to be able to find this. If I've got it here. Where is it?
Up close and personal.
Yeah, right. I would have to run a quick search for it. I might do that here in a minute.
That's an awful familiar looking building there on that part of all them demons.
Yeah, it is. It is indeed.
Big bad demon in the corner.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try to find that here in just a minute. And you notice they all got their little, well, not all of them, but this one in the middle here has a little pyramid on his head. Let me see if I can blow this up a little bit more. So you got your aurora skies, you got the Capitol building, and you got these demon type things flying in the air like locusts almost. And you also have these ones down here.
Them look a lot like flying monkeys in the Wizard of Oz, don't they?
Yeah. And you would think this is just ridiculous and nonsensical. But the thing is that these cards pretty much all come true. So it's not showing a storm. It's showing a Capitol building, a toroidal Capitol building, which is like a temple, which is what they are. They're basically temples. Even the Capitol in the United States, it is what it is. And so you have all these demons coming forth. And like I said, that's basically what I expect out of these storms is demonic manifestations. Let's see if I read this, if it makes any sense. Instant attack, destroy any place except a huge one. You must spend an action from a magic group. The power of the attack is 10 plus the power of the group summoning the demons. So it's saying here like they would be summoned, and it would be a fairly local area where they could do this, and they would have to use magic, which is technology, in order to try to make this happen based on the wording that they've got here.
Well, the way these cards are, and I'm putting this in quotes, is set up to be used as though you were playing them like a Dungeons and Dragons kind of game.
I've never played that, so I don't know what that means.
Well, it's a fantasy game, and you kind of make up your storyline as you go, and you got different people, and you're dealt different cards. Well, it's kind of like I attack you with my plague of demons, and you combat it with your, legion of angels or whatever. But I don't know, but that's kind of how those cards are set up, and that's what I've seen some claims of them to be. But you made these things in 1995, wasn't it? And all the horrible things that are on there have come true. I mean, the imagery, everything.
I think I got
Magic the Gathering, yeah. Like Magic the Gathering. I've never played one of those. I watched Big Bang Theory. I watched Sheldon and them play Dungeons and Dragons quite a bit. That's about all I know, or seeing kids play it at local card shops. But yeah, that's what it appears to be made like it was some type of magic board game to play. But it is. It's a magic board game for the elite. Magic the Gathering for superpowers, I guess.
think I found that video. There's just an image of it. You can see the eclipse. You can see a toroidal spinning, almost like a gateway. You can see the auroras in the background, and it's from a television show called Heroes Reborn.
I watched the original. I didn't watch the
And
reborn.
here's the video. The short. It's only 15 seconds. Take a look at quick video.
Well,
We're fighting for buttons again there for a second, but I just want to show it twice because it's kind of hard to take in what you're seeing there. I mean, is it all fantasy? Unfortunately, I don't think so. I think there's these supernatural things that we're seeing happening, including eclipses, because they're absolutely supernatural. The moon and the sun, the feminine and the masculine coming together and producing a spark. And that spark was seen worldwide. And during the eclipse, you have dark entities seen flying through the sky, filmed and photographed in numerous places, and a chariot of fire flying around with a dark-looking entity sitting on its back. I mean, yeah, we can brush these things off easily. We do all the time, and that's really just the tip of the iceberg, you know. Um, it's hard to get your mind around. It's even hard for me. So
I think we're all born with more, we'll just say, capability than we have been led to believe as human beings. And I think a lot of that information has been hidden and suppressed and shadow banned, so to speak. Because if the 54 kilometers of information up under that religious place, if it was just furthering the story that they've told us, that they've given us, why wouldn't you show it to us? The only reason you would hide something is if it differs from the mainstream information you have already put out there. So why are you hiding it? Why is there so much up under a couple of different places in the world that's just hidden? Because you're hiding it for a reason, because you don't want us to know. And if it comes to technology or science knowledge or medicine knowledge, they don't want us to know until 40 years later when they've monetized it, monopolized it, and patented it.
You remember this just came to my mind out of nowhere. It talks about King Solomon is depicted as having dominion over demons, often attributed to a magical ring or other supernatural powers allowing him to command and control them, as seen in texts like the Testament of Solomon. So the other day, we did a show and I talked about the difference between, like, many of the books in the Bible say you're never to build things that are in the image of heaven or anything in the heavens or anything under the earth or the waters under the earth. And that building idols or anything like that, using gold and do exactly what Solomon did, because the God that Solomon believed in, apparently, all of a sudden then wanted it. The exact same thing all the other books say don't do, Solomon does, and he has dominion over demons. I mean, and even talk about a magical ring, like Lord of the Rings kind of thing. I mean, am I alone in thinking that something is off? Something,
The storyteller.
huh?
It all depends on who's telling the story. Because if you'll notice, all of these stories, like we said, whether it's Norse mythology, Greek mythology, all these religions. Because the other day I went and did a multi timeline of civilization from Mesopotamia to the Egyptians to current. And on the same timeline, I run medical advancements. I run on the same timeline tools of that era. What kind of tools did they have? This all stems back to the pyramids for me, because how did you build those pyramids? Yet the carvings in the wall, there's no way. Mm-mm. If you built those pyramids, you wouldn't have made those archaic carvings in the wall. Another one of those buildings that were found.
Well, the carvings weren't done with precision that the pyramids were done, so it was done by two different time of people. Yeah, you can, if you look at it very closely, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, and you can see on some of the things that some of these like bigger columns that they had written on, like a historical reference, you can see that the accuracy and or I guess you'd say the quality of the carvings change. And neither one of them are anywhere as good as the technology that built those pyramids. I looked at a temple, can't remember where it was. I got it in my notes somewhere. I looked at a temple yesterday that's mm, probably an acre. The whole temple is carved out of one piece of stone right into the side of the mountain. And there's no way. Those people that made that out of one block of stone did not take a chisel and hammer and write something in a wall.
There's a number of places like that where there's like carved right into the mountain and made a city.
Yeah.
There's one place called what's it called? Might be the one you're talking about, but if my brain will give me the word. It's
Is that the one over in Cambodia that LiDAR has picked up the
no.
motherboard? That one was carved out of the side of a mountain.
Yeah,
there's quite a few of them.
You're talking about very high supernatural powers that
these things
that
look
supposedly we don't have today.
Yeah, I mean, they look like some kind of laser come across them and just carve these things out, but it's not just the external portion of them that has been carved. The internal runes and columns and shapes are done within 1/100th of an inch of perfection. But yet, when you decided to write down your civilization's history, you carved it in a wall. I got my doubts. You ain't the same people.
Mm-hmm.
You found it. You did not build it.
Yeah, you founded it.
You founded it.
Yeah. Just kind of looking through some more of the different mythological things about deities being in storms, because I literally just about expect to see someone filming something like this. But the thing is that we're not even going to believe it because of the confusion that AI, the Antichrist AI itself, is bringing into the mix. You go on TikTok, I could have numerous videos up here I could show you and say, you ain't going to believe this. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's just unbelievable. And I'm wondering, if we see videos of this stuff in the near future, are we going to be able to tell? I think I've actually might have a few videos kind of like that. As a matter of fact, yeah. Let's. I haven't looked at these exactly. Well, I've kind of looked a little bit, but I haven't looked. So we may cut some of them short and stuff. But let's take a look at a few of these. I reckon I need to unmute it.
What the hell was that? A demon? The devil himself? I can't believe more people are not talking about this. While outside, there's going on, friends gathered on the front porch to capture this spectacular lightning event. What happens next left them speechless and in disbelief. This is the full viral video of what looks to be some kind of demonic being with wings deflecting some kind of energy when the lightning struck the power lines. What are your thoughts?
Got silent. It's weird outside and raining that hard. No. It's just wicked thunder and lightning.
I mean, okay, it's either real or it's not. And I wasn't there, so I don't know. But if it is real, then that is an example of what I'm talking about. Let me see if this is still the other video I wanted to play. I think so. This one's a short one. I'm not sure exactly if I can get my mouse to cooperate. Back. Sorry about the language, guys. I'll just mute that. And we'll take a look at the actual imagery itself. Let's go full screen. All right, here we go. So, see the fake or real. And I can't say which for sure. And here's another one. Guess I'll turn the sound on. Come on. What y'all got to see me. It looked like it said, looked like it was the number 88, which is interesting. But it was like weird looking, but kind of like an 88. Did you see that, Roxy?
Did it kind of look like an 88? Sound
Yeah.
on it is so hard that it's hard to focus, I think.
Yeah, and if you were going to make a fake video to try to make it go viral, would you do that?
I don't know. I've
know.
seen so much with some of these TikTok. I've got a TikTok channel because we restore old tracks, and it's so easy to take somebody else's actual voice. Like a while ago, when we watched one with the lightning, where it looks like somebody's in the lightning,
Mm-hmm.
to take that voice soundtrack and literally plug it into AI and tell AI to make you a video with these qualities and then piece it all together. It's just so easy anymore, and it's hard to discern what's real and what's not.
That's the whole point. Is somebody, when these things start happening, nobody's going to know what to believe as to what is actually happening because of what they're allowing AI to do, to create all these things. And AI can probably create a scene that's just realistic as reality is. We see some of the lower level AIs and stuff that you can kind of tell, but I think it can probably make something look perfect and believable. So it's going to be hard to tell when as these things pop off more. So let's see what this one's about.
The storm then got weird. Is this normal? I've never seen lightning so bright that it looked like daytime.
Well, part of what's going on there has to do with the camera itself. Would it look like that in person? Probably not. I think that's mainly a camera anomaly is actually what that is. This one says gigantic monster appears during Texas thunderstorm. Now this is a very good possible AI candidate, but we'll take a look anyways. It's not the one I was thinking, but I would have to call that hogwash.
But
Let's see.
see, I look at some of these cloud videos through the lightning, and I remember how many times I've been laying there getting some sun or something. You see some clouds, and you're like, oh, that looks like a giraffe. Oh,
Mm,
that looks like this. Some of that is light coming behind it and what the mind's eye wants to see, I believe.
yeah, it is called pareidolia, is the word that they given it. Pareidolia. And yeah, there is a thing called pareidolia. However, I think, well, just say that I'm more open to believing that you can see sometimes supernatural, uh, personal shows that maybe is for that person almost only. And I'll just leave it as that. Let's see what this one is. I would say that definitely the storms, the way the lightning is functioning, the color of the lights, everything seems to be has changed a little bit. I don't know if I know some of y'all guys probably remember. Actually, during the eclipse, it actually got dark twice, and we were doing a live show during the eclipse that day, and we had people filming from all around the country, from like 10 different locations, all at once, and we had everybody on the show, and I noticed that it got dark twice. And it was clear here. There was no clouds, no nothing. There was no way to get dark other than the eclipse. And it's like, that's impossible, but it actually happened. And then I asked people, did it get dark twice? And literally hundreds of people came back saying, yeah, it did get dark twice. I mean, what's up with that? Talking about, I mean, well, this is called the Supernatural Show for a reason, you know. This one is the one that I was thinking is got to be AI or something, but we'll take a look at it real quick anyways. Well, I guess I can turn the volume on.
Someone needs to explain to me what is going on. I offended her. This was caught on camera. Wait, there, what is that? What is that? What is that?
No,
I'm gonna play it again for you to see, but that's weird, right? Let's play that again.
I'll tell you what that reminds me of. Well, first off, the little glare thing is because this is being shot through a window, so you're getting a glare because of the moisture on the window. But that repeated kind of that, well, on the simple side of things, that is, of course, a lightning phenomenon, a type of a lightning thing. I've told the story before about sitting on the back porch with my recorder running, just audio, looking out across the yard, and the lightning storm was going on, and the lightning was really close. You could hear the plasma in it. And then all of a sudden it got kind of quiet, and I said, well, it kind of got kind of quiet because I was recording audio, and I said, but I'm expecting, when I said I'm expecting, something like that came out of the ground. It was like insane looking. It was this big ball of mostly white, but there was some other colors with it. Big, huge ball. It was probably about the size of, I don't know, a Volkswagen or something other. And it was just pulsing. And then boom, and then shot into the sky. And I ended up seeing it again, exactly the same scenario about a week later at my brother's house when I was telling him the story. It did it again. That's a whole nother story for maybe another day. But yeah, I mean, that is probably a real video at a minimum. I'm still not finding the one. This must be it. Is it? I don't know. Maybe I didn't bring it up. Oh, this was that freaky one. There was something flying around in the storm, kind of. I'll go ahead and show it since I've got it up here. This is the last one of these. In case anybody's
Volume
wondering.
it down a little bit. If you volume it up.
You said turn the volume down a little bit?
Yeah. If you're gonna play the volume, I don't know, for some reason it seems extremely loud on mine.
Okay.
I don't know about everybody else out there.
All right. Sometimes I'm sitting there and I see that kind of video and I'm asking myself, why is the cameraman not following the object? Like, why is the camera not following the object?
Exactly.
You know, simple things like that, you know. But let's go back to our document, I guess, and see. Oh, and we also have this other video we're going to watch here too as well in just a minute. The pilot that films the creature, the supernatural creature that comes flying up outside the window. And it is, I'm sure, a real video. And I kind of know what it is, and I'll explain when we get to it here in just a minute. It is truly a supernatural creature. Dr. Roberts out in Marina del Rey, California, actually is the one, technically, as the normal people go, the one that discovered them. But we'll get to that in a second. And there's just Mesopotamian myths, Japanese and East Asian lore about these deities and being depicted as riding inside or commanding typhoons, you know, like hurricanes. And it says they create thunder and is often accompanied by thunder beasts or demonic attendants. You know, there was a time when I thought myth meant fantasy, you know.
I think myth is beginning to mean hidden.
Yeah, to me, myth is time repeats. This world repeats. The events of this world repeat. They don't repeat in the exact same image. They repeat in a similar image, in a similar way, and in a similar time. But these things all tend to repeat from the best judgment I have. And we're obviously now entering into a time where some things are going to be going on that are very supernatural, unexplainable, and maybe where some of these supposed myths come from. Like in Chinese mythology, dragons are deeply connected with rain and storms. The dragon kings of the seas control the weather and often rise from the stormy waves to interact with mortals. In Slavic mythology, the Zimi, or dragon, can control weather, bringing storms or appearing during thunderstorms. And you also have scripture in the Bible that say things like this. Like Satan fell from heaven like lightning. And if you speak it in Hebrew, it's pronounced Barack Obama. Yep, that's right. It is. Barack Obama in, I believe it's Hebrew, and that means I saw Satan fall from heaven like lightning. So there again is another image of, depiction of deities having to do with storms and portals, because ultimately we're talking about these storms. What we're talking about really is we're talking about portals and all the different images that they come in, but storms and weather is one of them. And all of the attributes for a portal are there in a supercell thunderstorm or a hurricane. You got the electricity, you've got the the water, you've got the toroidal nature, or the mountain, or the mountaintop, which is the storm itself. You've got, it's all there, just in a different image than some might think. Yeah. So let's see what else we got here before we show our other little video. I think that's about to the bottom there of that. This was folklore and occult texts. In some grimoire traditions, supernatural beings, angels, or demons are summoned during storms or appear accompanied by wind, lightning, and unnatural weather, believed to thin the veil between worlds. Yeah, and I think these deities normally are kept beyond the veil, beyond where they can have direct effect upon us. But I also suspect that we're going to see some of these things. We've already seen quite a bit in the last year. And the difference is whether it is real, meaning not AI or something created to fool us, or if it is real. And if it is real, what is it and why is it? Why are we seeing it? These kind of things. So, all right. So let's transition here, unless anybody has any questions. I can give us a minute here. If you have any questions or anything and you're in the comments, you're welcome to ask. We'll take a moment of break here for a moment, and then when we come back, I'll answer any of those questions that are put into the comments. So I'm going to put
fantastic music while we're on break.
Yeah, we can do that.
We like our pump up jam, don't we, guys? It's not Friday, but we can still do our pump up jam today. Captain Howdy's going to get his muffins. His muffins are ready.
So I just put comment here. And so when I come back here in just a minute, anybody ask a question below that, I'll specifically address those comments. So meaning if you comment now, I'm going to address your comment one way or another. That's an interesting comment there. Carla Summers said, when King Charles with his mother crowned him prince, there's a pic of lightning over him. And when asked who crowned him, he said his father put the crown on his head. Okay. I could see that. And you better believe they believe in these supernatural things. They have the history, they have the books, they have the hidden knowledge. You know, they don't have it all, but they have a lot of it. So yeah, thanks, Carla, for that comment. And again, I'll address anybody's questions here when we come back in just a moment. You want me to play music, or you want me to play my Beyond the Veil intro thing?
Either or. You do the Beyond the Veil. That's fine.
Okay.
I'm going to go help the grandbaby right quick while we take a break.
Yeah, we're going to take about 5. Let's go to little boy's room. And we'll be back here in just a few minutes. And if you've never seen this before, which I'm sure most of you have, you'll enjoy it. But look again, because the concepts of what we're talking about again today are related to this video.
It's a twister! It's a twister!
I imagine right now you're feeling a bit like Dorothy, landing in Oz in a realm that just does not feel quite like home. I can see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who does not accept what he sees, because he suspects everything his eyes present to him is a lie. Ironically, this is very close to the truth. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you cannot explain, but you can feel it. You have felt it your entire life that something is wrong with this world that has been presented to you with the full expectation that you accept it and never question it. You don't know completely what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind driving you mad. It is this feeling that brought you here to me, to now, to a choice. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you want to know what it is? It is the supernatural image and word of God. It is all around us right now, even in your very room where you are sitting at this moment. You can see it when you peer into the mirror at your own reflection, or when you take a photo of a friend. You can feel it when the sun shines, or when a wave in the sea crashes upon you. You can taste it when you bite into an apple, and see it when you tear open a fruit. You can feel it when you caress a woman, or when a woman caresses you. And you can see it upon the woman's body, the breasts, the buttocks, and eyes alike. It is there when you speak or when you take a breath. You can hear it when the great owl screeches, or see it written upon his face. You can see it coming when a whirlwind is nearly upon you, and hear it when the thunder rolls. And you can feel it when the wind blows. It is the world that exists beyond the veil. It must be perceived with the mind before the eye can see it. A world that no one ever informed you of, yet you know it's there. If you speak of it, others will say you're crazy, for you must believe what they believe. Like everyone else, you were born and introduced and convinced of a false reality, a false world, a prison world designed so that you would not see, hear, smell, taste, or touch the supernatural reality of the true world. They built a prison for your mind and a hell for your soul, and they pray to their gods that you will never wake up. Unfortunately, no one can be shown what the supernatural world is. You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there's no turning back. You hit the back button, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you believed before this moment. Or you continue watching and you cross beyond the veil. And I will show you what is behind the wizard's curtain. Remember, all I am offering you is the truth. Nothing more, nothing less. It is now time to choose. Go back now, or continue beyond the veil.
Hey everybody, we're back. While we're waiting on Daniel, he's still on his break. I wanted to let everybody know I am setting up a Discord. We all love to chat over here so much, especially during shows. There's things that we think of. I'm setting up a Discord. I've just set it up. I don't have anything in it yet. Um, there's a link to the Discord, and that way we can all chat amongst each other and we can have different things on there. But I'm working on that. But there's the link to it.
Oh,
Go ahead and sign up and get it going.
you set up a Discord?
Yeah, I set up a Discord while we've been on the show today.
The question is, one question I have immediately is, do we have the ability to embed the conversation into the website?
I don't know. I have to look at.
Yeah, because we want to. The website was intended to be a general place that anyone could come and find all the things related to, of course, the show and anything related, but also a lot of conversation. I want people to be able to go there and communicate and post things, chat amongst themselves, and they do. But so if we're going to give another place, which is like people already have 50 places, if we're going to give another place, we need to see if we can't try to get those things that will embed into the website. But I haven't checked it out myself, so I'm going to will you post it in the private chat also?
Yeah.
The link? I'll take a look at it too and see what I can see. And if the ability to set me up. Huh?
I just set it up, and we can all get over there and get signed up, and then we'll try to figure out how to tie it to the actual website and then, embed it in there so we can run it all as one. But it's going to take everybody a few minutes to go over and look at it, get signed up, and join us. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody may be interested, but we'll see.
Yeah, we're trying everything we possibly can, guys. We are so suppressed. I mean, think about it. I've got 105,000 subscribers just on one of my YouTube channels, not counting all the other platforms. And I know part of the problem is that I've put too much effort into YouTube itself. But there was a time, some years back, anytime I would put out a video, 50,000 people showed up and viewed every video. But they've slowly, over the last 7 years, I guess, something like that, they've slowly squashed channels like this. And the only reason I still even exist via YouTube is because of some smart thinking on my part and persistence, because I've had to rebuild that channel. I'm on the 5th one now for Logic Before Authority. And yeah, so there's that. And if y'all guys haven't already, I would ask y'all guys to please consider being a supporter of the show. I know probably quite a few of you are in some way or another. The kind of support that I really need is a small amount of money from each person on a monthly basis, whether that's $1 or $10 or whatever it is. Most of us could do $1 and never miss it. I could even do that. But I'm only bringing in about half to a third of what I need in order to be able to survive without having to come out with videos specifically saying, hey guys, I'm dead broke again. Can you donate some money so I can keep my water or my electricity on, or keep the studio paid, or whatever? I despise having to do those videos, but I'm left without a choice. And I've explained in detail my whole situation before in the past. All right.
Now, for anybody that comes to Discord and signs up, if your Discord name is not the same name you use for this YouTube chat, you're going to have to give it to me. That way I know who I'm talking to. We already got 2 people over there.
Oh, okay. Well, there are some people that use Discord for sure. It's fairly popular, I think. I have been on there a couple times, but I've never really sunk my teeth into it. And I might be missing something. I don't know. We'll find out.
Well, it's kinda like the comments running over here on the side. It's just a text conversation back and forth, but you can share images and videos and information and have a longer one-on-one conversation amongst each other. And I've noticed that a lot of our viewers, show after show, are a lot of the same people. We got Carla, we got Sublime, we got, um, Mr. Super Sidewinder, we got Michael, we got Fax, we got, Geo. I mean, we got all kind of people, and I see them every show.
Yep.
And I got some emails the other day from a Nathan. I'm not sure who he was, but his comments weren't showing up on the YouTube video. That I don't know why, unless it's just something in general that's been suppressed, which is like a lot of other things.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a non-filtered conversation. Rules of show still apply at Discord. Don't be ugly.
Yeah. We don't we don't argue with donkeys. And I don't act like a donkey when I'm dealing with people, and I expect other people not to. So we got this video of the pilot that filmed, and I'll describe what he filmed here after we watch the video. Let's take a look at the video itself. Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on Logic Before Authority and the Supernatural Show. We're going to take a look at a video that was filmed out of a pilot's cockpit. It came off of Mr. MMB's 333's channel, so I would like to give him credit for the footage itself. And as you can notice, something flew up outside the window there. And I'm going to slow it down. It's actually slowed to 30%. And you'll see he comes out, looks out the window here with the camera, and I ain't nothing I can do about the quality of the footage. It is what we got. It's pretty, I think we're getting a third or fourth generation copy of this. And as you'll see, the wingtip comes into view in a second. Again, this is in slow motion. So 30% of the original. And you can see the wingtip, and here comes this thing flying up, zipping around, and then takes off. It was as close as the wingtip is to the plane. And what this is this is one of the 5D dragons that Dr. Roberts out in Marina Del Rey in California discovered. What we're going to do is, I've zoomed in here, and we're going to look at it in a few different formats here in just a moment. Notice the disturbance around the creature when it's sitting still and then starts to move. It's pretty interesting looking. It reminds me of Tinkerbell. Here's just some various different formats. I was trying to see what I could see, if I could see anything different. And this one you can kind of see the trail, like an energy trail that it leaves behind. And Dr. Roberts believes that these creatures run off of plasma, pure light, basically. Here it is slowed way down and zoomed, of course, in the original format. And then we're going to take a look at the negative format, slowed way down and zoomed in like this. Now, nobody knows exactly what these creatures are, and if there is someone that knows, they're not talking. Dr. Robert out in Marina Del Rey is the one that knows the most, because he's filmed them thousands of times. His channel is called the Custodian Files, and you can find it right on YouTube. I suggest you taking a look if you haven't. He's found something totally unique. With that being said, guys, I just wanted to bring this to you and show it to you. Let you check out something that is completely supernatural and unknown, except to a few people. And if Mr. M&B, if you see this, go check out Custodian Files on YouTube, and you'll see this creature flying around all kind of aircraft all over the world. It's worldwide, and yes, it is supernatural.
I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.
All right, so there you have a creature that is not on the books that exists. There's thousands of documented video cases of it. They exist all around the world. Anything that flies over above them, they will go up and investigate. They can fly approximately. They travel at about 2,000 miles an hour, and they're about in full flight. They're about the size of a football, as you could kind of tell from looking out that window and seeing it fly up in front of the wing. Right there, about the size of a football or something along those lines. And there is no documented anything as to these things even existing. This is a supernatural thing, but it is a fact. This is one that I can tell you that they exist, and they're not on the books. So what else exists that are not on the books? Typically, they don't put things on the books that they don't want us to admit that are real, or just don't want us to know nothing about. Like the giant people that live in the woods. Those exist. I can tell you by firsthand experience, they exist. And even recently, they were filmed. A guy produced a video of literally a whole family of them walking through a riverbed or a creek bed in Idaho from a couple of years back. And there's a mother with two children and a big male standing off in the distance to the rear that are walking down. If you want to see that footage, you have to go over to How to Hunt with Steve, How to Hunt. Steve is the guy's name, and take a look at that video, because if you look at the speed of what looks like the younger one running, and the length of the arms of the mom when she's taking them and lifting them across like a deep area or a little cavernous area or something where they're walking through, it's pretty good footage, and you can see it pretty good too. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 or 5 woods people there, if you want to call them that. And I know some of you have never experienced anything related to that, and you're not going to believe it's real. And you're definitely not going to know that they're real. And I would say I'm between belief and knowing that they're real, somewhere's in there, for me at least. And I would think that Roxy is probably maybe along the lines of maybe possibly believes, but I don't think she's ever actually had enough to like heard them or seen them or anything like that. Well, look who we have here.
Hi guys. Sorry, I don't have my normal setup, so I'm
Look
still
like you
on
just
my...
look like you just come from painting a picture or something.
I look artistic, awesome.
Yeah, look kind of artistic.
A hat.
With the hat there, kind of cocked to the side and everything.
Look at Miss Fashionista over there.
I know all y'all guys know who that is. Of course, that's Shannon, the co-host. She was out trying to take care of some family stuff earlier, and but she popped in here at the end of the show just in time to kind of say hello.
Hi.
What in the supernatural's going on with you?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. It's just been very awesome. I was up in Morro Bay all weekend, and I did have a very lovely supernatural experience, which I believe was God from heaven telling me that everything's going to be okay because I'm dealing with a lot of stuff with family. But my dad made sure to nudge God and say, "Hey, give Shannon a shout out. Like it's all good." It's hard to explain, but I heard my dad when I was sleeping and woke up to his voice. It was pretty cool. So
Wow.
he's my dad's been gone since 2014, so that was nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Occasionally I'll dream about my mom. I don't think I've ever really dreamed about my dad. He died when I was like 6. But I'm pretty sure I've never heard her voice. Again, that would be cool.
Yeah, it
I've
was
heard
pretty cool.
she sings.
What else is going on with you? Anything much?
Oh, well, I have a daughter that's about to graduate, so it's a little hectic. And just, yeah,
Graduate here?
from high school.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And just, yeah, just
So you're
been trying to catch up on life because I'd been so sick for so long, and now I'm just rushing through trying to get things going. Which, again, sorry guys, I've been absent so much from the show. Just, life sometimes.
you got to do what you got to do. That's,
Yep.
that's the way it works. And all right, well, we are literally at the end of the show here, so I do want to thank everybody for being here. I really want to thank all the viewers, and those are the viewers that choose to be here and spend this hour or two with us quite often. I see so many of your names that I recognize over and over, and I really do appreciate y'all guys. We are, like I said, going through a lot of struggles, but none of these struggles, are going to take my life. They just make things uncomfortable. And so we need to remember that when we're going through challenges. What typically happens is it sharpens you up, it makes you push and sharpen and sharpen. And that's kind of how I'm trying to look at it. Like, if I wasn't being so pushed so hard and challenged so hard, particularly financially, I probably wouldn't push as hard as I'm pushing to refine things and make things better. Like what I started doing last week is, as you may know, but I started like today's show, I'll take it and cut off any fat, basically. Like the intro, and just put a little TikTok intro that I normally do, and put that on the end or whatever, and then repost it at 7:00 so that it gets a whole different set of eyes, maybe. And then I do that every day throughout the week, and then on Saturday, I then take all 3 shows, put them together into one show that runs for 3 hours from like 3:00 till 6 or 7, because sometimes it's like 4 or 5 hours. And then I do it again on Sunday as well. And, well, it's actually working. There's thousands of more views, not like those thousands are going to save me financially, because it takes hundreds of thousands of views in order to generate enough money that you can survive off of it. Like I looked at my monetization on Facebook the other day. Oh Lord, it was worse than it was. I'm like, how can this be? But it's the challenge I'm in, so I'll make it through it. We all will make it through it. And even we all know that one day we all have to pass out of this world. But you don't have to worry about death being some terrible bad thing. It's not, especially if you try your best and you do good, and you do good for people, and you help other people, and in your own way, like what I do, but in your own way. We're not expected to be perfect, because it's impossible in this world to be perfect and walk exactly in Christ's footsteps. We all try, but I believe that one day when this experience is over with, we go back to a much better place than we are now. And I just have to think that way, I guess you'd say. But I appreciate all y'all guys being here. Thank you to Miss Kim for helping out in the comments. Thank you, Roxy, for being here again.
Always.
And thank you, Shannon, for popping in with us here. Glad to see you popped in. It's always nice to see my sister.
Yeah.
And for y'all guys in the comments, know that I love you, but more importantly, know that Father in heaven loves you. And he'd like to talk to you from time to time. So make sure you use some time here and there to go somewhere that's private. Maybe it's in your bed, laying down. Maybe it's another private place where you're by yourself and just talk. You don't even have to use your mouth. Yes, Father has telepathy ability, you might say. He can hear your thoughts and knows what you're thinking, and occasionally tries to talk to you. He'll give you that soft, quiet voice that's not yours, and you just like, oh, ooh.
Or he may even come and speak to you in the sound of a voice that someone you miss and love.
Yeah, that can happen.
Like I got.
Yeah. It's all connected to Father, that's for sure. So with that said, guys, we're going to get out of here. We love you, and we'll see you again real soon here on the Supernatural Show. As a matter of fact, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we're trying to hit 2 o'clock, but not every day we're able to do it. We will soon. All right. Love you guys.